Every person has the right to practice sport without discrimination.
In the heart of the Paris Olympics, an explosive controversy threatens to overshadow the game's glory. Imane Khelif finds herself at the centre of a heated debate that could reshape the future of women's sport. But how did a simple boxing match become a battleground for global opinions on gender and fairness? Well, the IBA, which used to be known as the AIBA, has been in trouble for a while. The IOC stopped recognising it in 2019 because of governance and corruption issues. There were serious problems, including life bans for former leaders due to financial mismanagement and rule breaking. The IBA's current president, Imane Khelif, has ties to the Kremlin and has been criticised for his handling of the organisation. In 2023, the World Championships were controversial. The IBA allowed Russian and Belarusian boxers to compete, which led to boycotts from 19 countries. Imane Khelif and Li Yuting were disqualified from the 2023 World Championships in New Delhi by the International Boxing Association. Lin even lost her bronze medal due to biochemical tests imposed by the IBA. However, the International Olympics Committee is handling boxing at the Paris Games due to the IBA's governance and ethical issues. Imagine a detective trying to solve a mystery with incomplete clues. The IBA's gender ability tests are a bit like that. The test reportedly found male XY chromosomes in both fighters, but it's uncertain what exactly these tests involved or how accurate they were. The IOC has expressed doubt over the process and results, further complicating the situation. The IOC criticised the IBA for what it called a sudden and arbitrary decision regarding the disqualifications of Khelif and Lin. According to the IOC, the disqualifications happened without proper procedures and were initially decided by just the IBA Secretary General and CEO. The IOC stated that this approach was unfair and lacked due process, especially since both athletes have been competing at a high level for years. On the other hand, the IBA defended its actions, saying the disqualifications were necessary to ensure fairness and integrity in the competition. The IBA claimed that while the athletes did not undergo testosterone tests, they did take other recognised tests, which showed that they did not meet the eligibility criteria. The specifics of the tests were kept confidential, and the IBA asserted that Lin did not appeal the decision, while Khelif's appeal was withdrawn, making the disqualifications final. Following the 2023 World Championships, the IBA faced significant consequences. In June 2023, 69 out of 70 Olympic federations voted to strip the IBA of its status as the sport's governing body. IOC President Thomas Bach expressed disappointment, suggesting that boxing deserved to be governed by a federation with integrity. The IBA reacted strongly, accusing the IOC of making a grave mistake and comparing the decision to historic injustices. In response to the IBA's issues, a new organisation called World Boxing was formed in April 2023. This body aims to keep boxing fair in Olympics and ensures that the interests of boxers are prioritised. It is still negotiating with the IOC for official recognition as the sport's governing body. For the Tokyo Olympics, boxing was organised directly by the IOC, which also took over the management of doping controls, with a strong stance against doping. The International Olympics Committee has specific guidelines for transgender athletes in women's sports. In late 2021, the IOC issued a framework that put the responsibility on each sports governing body to set its own eligibility criteria. This change came after weightlifter Laurel Hubbard, the first transgender athlete to compete in a different gender category at the Tokyo 2020 Olympics. The IOC's guidance states that there shouldn't be an automatic assumption that transgender athletes have an unfair advantage. They provide a 10-point document for sports to follow before Paris 2024. However, many sports have responded differently. Some, like athletics and rugby, have banned transgender women from competing in women's events, while others allow it under certain conditions. When the Olympic Games rolled around in Tokyo 2020, the boxing world was filled with anticipation. Still, during the excitement, a significant question remains: who gets to compete in the women's division? As the athletes stepped into the ring, the International Olympic Committee had one rule on the books regarding gender eligibility. If an athlete's passport declares them female, then they were set to fight in the women's category. The IOC emphasised that it supports the participation of any qualified athlete, regardless of gender identity or sex characteristics, as long as they meet the International Federation's criteria. Now, the case of Imane Khelif and Li Yuting have become a focal point of controversy. Reports about their gender eligibility tests emerged around the 2023 World Championships, though coverage was limited. The IOC briefly included these details in a media portal before Paris 2024, but later removed them. The IOC has stated that both athletes were born and raised as women, but the IBA tests suggest suggest otherwise. The IBA claims that Khelif and Lin failed gender eligibility tests and were thus disqualified from the World Championships. They argued that blood tests and chromosomal analysis indicated that athletes were biologically male, although these details remain confidential. In response, the Algerian Olympic and Sports Committee rejected the IBA's claims, asserting that the IBA is not recognised by them and does not influence the Olympic Games. They stand by Khelif, declaring her unaffected by what they considered baseline accusations. Chris Roberts, the CEO of the International Boxing Association, has said he can't share the specific results of gender eligibility tests for boxer Imane Khelif and Lin Ting, but said their disqualification from the 2023 World Championships speaks for itself. According to Roberts, the chromosome test showed both athletes were ineligible, and he mentioned that these results were sent to the IOC last June, but the IOC hasn't acted on them. The IOC has strongly criticised the IBA, calling it a discredited organisation and accusing it of making groundless decisions. IOC President Thomas Bach stated that both Khelif and Lin are clearly women by all definitions, having been born and raised as women, holding female passports and competing in women's categories for years. The controversy has created significant debates on social media, with figures like J.K. Rowling, Donald Trump and Elon Musk voicing opposition to the boxers' participation. In the middle of all the uproar, Khelif's father defended his daughter, citing the attacks against her as immoral. Now, the drama intensified when Khelif fought Italian boxer Angela Carini at the Paris Olympics. Khelif won the match decisively in just 46 seconds, but the fight was marked by controversy. Carini, visibly hurt and distressed, collapsed in the ring after the bout and had a badly injured nose. Carini's performance and reactions have sparked further criticism and discussion, including comments from Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni, who argued that athletes with male genetic characteristics should not compete in women's events. Remal Salem, a UN expert on violence against women, stated on X that Carini and other female athletes shouldn't face such physical and psychological harm based on their sex. IOC spokesperson Mark Adams emphasises that all competitors in the women's category follow eligibility rules, and with their passports indicating they are female. Khelif received loud cheers from Algerian fans at the North Paris Arena. After her swift victory, she expressed satisfaction but remained focused on winning a medal. Both Algeria and Taiwan defended their boxers. Taiwan's president, Lai Ching-te, praised Lin for inspiring many and urged support for her. The Algerian Olympic Committee, COA, condemned the attacks on Khelif as malicious and unethical. Australian boxer Caitlin Parker voiced her concern, stating that allowing athletes with male characteristics to compete in women's combat sport is dangerous. Khelif, now guaranteed an Olympic medal after reaching the semi-finals, said winning gold would be the best response to the scrutiny over her gender and testosterone levels. She faced online abuse based on the false claims of being transgender. Khelif called for an end to bullying athletes, highlighting the severe impact it can have. She remains in contact with her family, hoping they aren't deeply affected by the investigation. Khelif thanked the IOC for their support, which she believes upheld the truth. After defending Hungarian boxer Anna Luka Hamori in the quarterfinals, Khelif expressed mixed emotions, feeling both joy and distress due to the media frenzy. She had competed in the IBA event without issues until her sudden suspension last year. The IBA, dominated by Russian interests, has not provided details about the tests. Khelif will face Liu Yang of China in the gold medal match, aiming to become Algeria's first female boxing gold medalist. "I am focused," said the 25-year-old Khelif. "I'm here to perform well and achieve my dream. I'll give everything I have for the final. One thing is certain as the dust settles on the contentious discussions. The scandal involving Khelif and Lin has clouded the Olympics and challenged our ideas of sports fairness and ethics. The questions this issue raises will probably have an impact for years to come, because it could have a significant impact on the future of women's boxing and possibly other sports. As we look to the future of women's boxing, one thing is clear: the sport is evolving, and so are the controversies around it. With policies like the IOC's current eligibility rule, the goal is to create a level playing field where talent and hard work are what matters the most. But as society and sports continue to change, we'll need to keep asking tough questions and seeking thoughtful solutions. What do you think about the decision to allow these athletes to compete despite the controversy? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, then don't forget to like, subscribe and hit that notification bell so you never miss an update. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.